So this is the Elsie B. Smith Show. I help people to understand the magic and the mystery of love and life so that they can regain control of their lives. So what would you like to resolve? The topic for today is the creation process, the facts you should know about being more successful. Now, I know that immediately you think about the law of attraction. This is not the law of attraction. The law of attraction, in my view, is part of this whole picture. So let me explain. Let me start with the very first step in the creation process, which I would like to call the quantum vibration. In the Jewish mysticism, there is the Kabbalah, which states that as above, so below. Now that to me says that we are talking about a different one dimension that we live in, but there are other dimensions as well. And there is what I like to call, in my own way, the source. So as above, so below. And with the creation process, what we do is we catch these quantum vibrations. Now, I'm not going to go into detail in terms of quantum physics, but there is the quantum physics will tell you that everything consists of energy waves, and we cannot really see or do anything with those waves. But the moment when we add consciousness, we turn those waves into particles, and that then becomes part of the quantum vibration. Now, is everything controlled by what we get from a different dimension, from the source? I would say no. What we do get from there is our life script, the script that we agreed on before we were born into this particular life, which is different from free will and freedom of choice, which comes later in the process. Another way of catching this quantum vibration is by means of recognizing synchronicity. Synchronicity is different from coincidence. With coincidence, we have different things coinciding, all our own creation. Synchronicity for me is like a glimpse of the universe, a glimpse of eternity, where there are just particular moments that stand out for you. And you know, so in your bones, in your heart, in your gut, you know that these are moments that you need to take note of. I'll give you an example. Many years ago, somebody said to me that I was going to move to England. Now, at the time, that was the furthest from my mind, the furthest from my consciousness. But there was something that said to me, sit up and listen. And I did. And one thing led to another. It's a long story, which I won't go into here. But here I am. I've been living in England for nearly 16 years now. Now, that for me was a moment of synchronicity. And I've experienced several of those over the years. And I'm sure you also have had your own ones. Another way of catching this quantum vibration is by means of meditation. And that is not meditation where you deliberately go into a meditation so that you can catch the quantum vibration. It is meditation specifically for clearing your mind so that you make space. You literally make space for catching this quantum vibration. And that can then come to you in many different ways. During the meditation, as a thought that you recognize that's not yours, but you clearly recognize the thought, or it can come to you after the meditation, maybe in the form of synchronicity, maybe in the form of something that just catches your eye or impacts on one of your senses. You can also use visualization to catch this quantum vibration, to identify what it is that you need to deal with. Because the next step in the process is to select the particular thoughts that you want to focus on. Now, we have anywhere between 35 and 48 thoughts per minute. It's way too much to focus on. So our conscious mind identifies those thoughts that we should focus on. And we intuitively also identify what we would like to focus on. We also get dreams. And we get different dreams, like the prophetic dreams, where there's some sort of prediction of something to come. And that then is indicated in your prophetic dream. You get some symbolic dreams. And I recognize them as some really weird dreams with the most ridiculous things happening. But it's the symbolism behind the objects in the dream, the people in the dream, the emotions around the dream that come through in the symbolic dreams. And that then shapes the thoughts that we actually focus on. Also journaling. Journaling is a way of catching those thoughts. And I'm not talking about keeping a diary indicating, what you had for lunch or what your plan is for the rest of the day or anything like that. I'm talking about a very particular way of journaling. If you go onto my website and you search for the words potent therapy, you'll find a way of journaling that really, truly helps you to identify the thoughts from the quantum vibration that are important in your life and that you need to focus on. And then you need to trust and you need to be confident that you will never, ever be misled if you use these methods. You will find what is important to you. Another way of identifying the quantum vibration and how it relates to your life script is, for example, to deal with tarot, major arcana. Tarot is not meant for divination. Tarot is not meant for fortune telling. Tarot is a history and a documentation of the most amazing journey through this particular life. And if you follow the major arcana in tarot, it actually tells you what this journey is. And then you can link your knowledge of your life script to what tarot tells you. And that will also help you to identify which thoughts to focus on. So now you know everything. You can just focus on the thoughts and the most wonderful things will happen. Well, actually, no, that it's not that simple. We are human. We mess up. We mess up right from day one. We get these thoughts on a platter. We know exactly what the quantum vibration wants us to do because it's based on love and it's based on our true vibration. And what do? We add filters, we add blockages, we add obstacles, we add all sorts of stuff. We add our perceptions, which are based on our view of the world. I'm just one of how many billion people on this world. Who says my view is right? Who says my perception is right? But I like to tell myself that my perception is right. It's the only one. It's the best one. We add fears to this. We say, oh, no, I cannot accept this thought. I cannot do this. It's too big for me. I'm too small. I'm too unimportant. I'm not going to do it this way because I like to discriminate based on gender, on skin color, on culture, on nationality, on all sorts of nonsense. In my culture, people do things in one particular way, and that's the only way I will deal with it. In my upbringing taught me to do things in this particular way, and I am not going to change no matter what this pure thought from the quantum vibration wants me to do. I'm also going to add all sorts of really strong emotions because I don't know the difference between emotions and feelings. I'll just give you a very quick example. If I tell you right now to get very angry, to have this emotion, very strong emotion of being very angry, your body knows what to do. Your facial muscles know what to do. Your voice knows where to go. Your eyes know where to go because you know what it means to get angry. It's the same as me telling you to get happy. You know exactly how that is. You can fake it. You can fake all sorts of emotions. But a feeling you cannot fake because a feeling is a glimpse into eternity. If I ask you to fake the moment when you had your first kiss, if I ask you to fake the moment when you held your first child in your arms, if I ask you to fake the happiest moment in your life, you cannot do it. Your body does not remember how to do it because it was just a moment in eternity. It was just a moment of peace. So that's what we strive towards. But in the meantime, we have all these emotions messing up things seriously. And also, we specifically look for an imbalance. It's one of the filters, one of the obstacles that we add. We look for imbalance. We want to ensure that we only see the bright things. We don't want to know about the negative side. Or we get so stuck in the negative side that we cannot possibly believe for a moment that there is a positive side on anything as well. So we've taken this wonderful thought, we've added all the obstacles and objections, And then what do we do next? We take action. We take action based on what is no longer pure. And with taking that action, what we do is we create conflict. We make wrong decisions. We make a complete mess. And we don't accept the responsibility for that. It's not me, it's them. They are doing this to me. And we take a huge amount of action and nothing happens. We say, well, it's all for nothing, because we do not understand the creation process and the time period. You know, the earth was created in 7 days. Well, it was actually created in 6 days, and the 7th day was a rest day. And that still works the same. We still have creation over six units of time, and then rest of 1 unit of time. And then we saw the materialization of what we created. But we don't understand that, so we get completely depressed about not seeing or achieving results. And the results we do achieve is all about conflict and resolving that conflict and cleaning up the mess. But thank goodness there are ways of helping us to clean up that mess. For example, sometimes you are on the verge of wanting to do something and you just stop, because intuitively you suddenly know, I can't do this. I mustn't do this. I mustn't go forward with this. Your body, your physical body tells you when something is wrong. When you get dis-ease, not disease, dis-ease, when you are not at ease. And we have all sorts of disciplines that actually help us to then undo that damage. I'm talking about natural healing stuff like chiropractic, like homeopathy, reflexology. I'm talking about exercise like yoga and Pilates, stuff that's got a very spiritual basis to it. I'm talking about healing in all shapes and forms, about nourishment, taking care of your body, and just undoing all the damage that we've done. Then there's the final step in the creation process, the absolute joy bit. This is where we find the wisdom. This is where you have that feeling, yes, now I understand why I had to wade through treacle, why I was in that messy relationship, why I needed to work for this particular boss in the situation, why I needed to go through a financial disaster, and to just understand what it is about. That having that incredible gratitude where the conflict has been resolved, we accept the change, we understand that it is time to move on. That change means making things better, and we find the balance. But probably more important than anything else is that we understand what forgiveness means. And I'm not talking about forgiveness turning the other cheek or anything like that. Forgiveness is this whole thing about finding the wisdom. It is about understanding how an experience made you a better, stronger, wiser person. Now, this whole show, this is basically the creation process in 15 minutes. The entire Elsa B. Smith show is going to be about all sorts of aspects of this process, of this creation, and it will not be just me talking all the time. This was just the introduction. What we're going to have from here is all sorts of topics, just to give you some indication of what I've got lined up for the next few weeks. Next week, there will be a discussion about crop circles with the lovely Karen Alexander from Temporary Temples. Not about whether crop circles are real or not. You can look that up. You can make your own decision about that. But what is the message behind them? What is the journey behind them? We're going to talk about life scripts. What is your purpose? What is your purpose in life? Why are you here? We're going to talk about, what's the other one I've got lined up? There's somebody talking about Feng Shui. What on earth is that, and how can that help us to clean up the mess that we've created for ourselves? I'm going to talk to an astrologer. I'm going to talk to somebody about kinesiology. So there's loads of topics that are going to come up. And if you want to ask any particular questions, or if you would like to propose topics, propose speakers, by all means, feel free to do so. And have a look at my books on Amazon. There might be some questions that you have, and you can get the answers from there. So thank you for listening to all this. I will definitely meet you again, same time, same place next week.